my fellow female activists. It's your wellness coach, Cathy. I am here. We are here for a wellness playlist. We are hitting up on nourishment today, and it's all about roasted veggies are awesome. This will be a fun one and a short one. Roasted veggies are awesome. And we get to start with the all-encompassing and wonderful positive quotient repetitions. Positive quotient repetitions or PQ reps. So whether you're sitting or standing, laying down, you can close your eyes if you wish. You don't have to. Only do so if you're safe. And here we go. Make a tall spine no matter if you're laying down. You can do so by like elongating your body. But I want you to have a nice tall spine. Okay, so your lungs are nice and expanded. And throw your shoulders back, roll them back. And we're going to take in 2 deep breaths. So you're going to inhale through your nose, and we're going to exhale very long, okay, longer, out through our mouths. And it's okay to have an audible, okay? But I will count that exhale, okay? We're not going to necessarily count the inhale, but we're going to count the exhale. Here we go. Inhale. And then exhale with the count. 4, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Exhale again. I'm sorry, inhale again. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that your breath is a little bit more slow, just notice your breath. What parts of your body are moving? What sensations are you feeling? And then go ahead and put one of your hands on your belly. And once again, without changing your breath, just notice what happens. And when you're ready, let's blink your eyes open. That was awesome. I felt that one. Even when you're the person actually guiding someone through, whether it's meditation or like in this case, our PQ reps, it still can have that same effect on us in a very awesome way. So appreciate you. All right. So today's wellness playlist topic is nourishment. And we're talking about specifically roasted veggies are awesome. So you could debate me on this, especially like if you're part of the raw world, okay, people who only eat raw food. Hey, you know what? The fact that our ancestors figured out how to cook food is okay with me. Now, yes, what happens when you cook food from its raw state is that it starts to lose nutrients, right? So the minute, though, I mean, the second you take anything from its natural habitat, right? Let's say an apple. I always use apples because they're very familiar to everyone, but I love apples. I'll tell you a story about why I love apples. Anyway, if you pick an apple from a tree, that is its raw state. But the moment you take it off, right, the stem, it has already started to lose its nutrients. Now, presumably, it will keep its nutrients for the most part, right, for at least, however long an apple will stay stable. But as it ages, right, it starts to ripen, correct? And then it starts to get too ripe, right? I'm all for raw food, as close to nature, right, as it came from. And believe it or not, some people, a friend of mine actually, shout out to Karina Inkster. Oh, the vegan, no, the No BS vegan coach. She is allergic to all fruits that aren't cooked. Like she cannot eat raw fruit. Can you imagine that? I can't. Like it freaks me out. Like she is allergic to so many things. I love you, Karina. I want you to be able to eat whatever you want. But yes, my beautiful friend cannot eat raw fruit. So she has to cook everything in some way, shape, or form. So is a raw type person who only eats raw gonna harass my friend who's allergic to said food? I bet she knew. I bet she would love to know what it's like to eat a raw apple, but she can't. It would literally, quite literally, kill her. I mean, she has to carry, she's so allergic to everything, she has to keep one of those EpiPens, right? And it's always on her. I digress. But what I'm saying is that raw food, while awesome, when something is raw, okay, it has a point, there is definitely more going on, right? It's a very, one is very fresh, but what I'm getting at is that the potency of that item, okay, is a lot more than if you were to, in some way, shape, or form, cook it, okay? What am I getting at here? Well, roasted veggies. A lot of people don't like veggies, and it's just because they don't eat them. They have never, they're on the standard US or North American diet, and veggies are like on the side in some cases. Although Canada's standard um, real food guide is now very much a standard that most other nations should take on, to include the US. And with that said, vegetables are awesome for you. If you're not aware, vegetables are simple carbohydrates. Did you know that? We need, as humans, carbohydrates. And the best ones are fruits and vegetables, right? So, in its raw form, some vegetables are a little too fibrous for some people. And again, that's just because in some cases, people don't eat enough fruit and vegetables to begin with, so their bodies don't know what to do with that goodness. And in some cases, even if you do like vegetables, your body may not, again, still know how to handle those enzymes. And there's a plethora of reasons why that can happen. So, roasted veggies, delicious. Very easy, very low key. Like if all you wanted to do was have roasted veggies without any type of seasoning, guess what? You would still have a sweet treat. What I mean is, some people say, "Oh, I don't want to roast veggies, it takes too long." Well, guess what? Getting the roasted veggies baked all at once a week, could literally mean that you have veggies for the whole week, all right? The best part about roasted veggies, and I mean roasted meaning like either bake or you put them in the oven, basically. I use roasted versus like stovetop cooking because I think in some instances, and I could be wrong, so I'll have to look this up, but in some instances, when you steam vegetables, no, when you blanch versus steam, I thought they were one and the same, but blanching is only for like 2 minutes or something like that. And if you've ever seen broccoli get blanched, it's beautiful. Like it becomes this vibrant green. And even still, you have unfortunately evaporated in that steam that's coming out some of the vitamin the nutrients, right, out of the broccoli, but still very healthy for you. So what I mean is when you roast the veggies, yes, it's under, unfortunately, heat, right? And so that heat, again, is again depleting the nutrients. And what it's also doing, though, okay, for someone like my friend Karina, who can't eat raw, uh, in some cases, fruit, I think also vegetables, but definitely fruit, she can't have raw fruit. She gets to roast all her, or air dry, air fry her fruit so that it can actually, she can consume it, right? Her body doesn't have the proper enzymes or something like that to break down the food correctly. So, roasting veggies, again, you can steam stuff and that's fine. But I think that actually the steaming, I'll have to look it up, but you may, it's a toss up, right? Like which version. Um, because what I'm getting at is that roasted veggies, when you roast them, okay, basically, obviously, you're applying heat, a lot of it, but it brings out the natural sweetness of those veggies, okay? And I'm talking everything has a sweetness to it. You know, if you're used again to uh, all types of highly processed food, your taste, your palate is completely off. And the minute that you start eating more fresh food, your your taste buds mature. They wake up again, right? So in the case of roasted veggies, particularly, you don't even need to season them. You clean them, obviously, especially right now because our food supply sucks, even more so than it did before. And then you cut them up, you prepare them, and then you put them on, whatever cookie sheet. I usually use like a glass Pyrex type because I like having the rims around it, around the food. But anyway, long story short, you stick them in there. And even if you don't, if you're so lazy and you don't put anything on those veggies, by roasting them, they become their natural sweetness comes out. Their flavors burst out quite literally because unfortunately sometimes they explode. The heat again is expelling out the stuff. But it's a beautiful, beautiful scene to then taste these veggies. And the scrumptiousness is ridiculous. It is so beyond, like, it's amazing. So, yes, I like steamed veggies, but I like roasted veggies more, is probably what I should have started with, right? I don't mind the steamed veggies, but either way, you're still losing nutrients. Okay, so just get it out of your head that unless you just like, get this. So, like that apple, right? The minute you run it underwater to clean it, it's lost a little bit of its nutrients, all right? But you're not going to eat that raw apple without cleaning it. Hello, you don't know where that tree was. You don't know where the apple's been. You want to clean it. So anytime that a process is endured by that piece of fruit or veggie or whatever, you have, in fact, processed it in some way, shape, or form. Some processes are heavier than others, right? So, do I stay away from, say, like, I'll just put it this way. I like roasted veggies more than I like steamed veggies, even if the steamed veggies might have more nutrients in them. Why? I just like how, again, how that roasted flavor comes out and it induces such a sweetness. I don't think you get the same sweetness when you are steaming veggies. I could be wrong. Um, but just take my word for it. Now, I've always loved all types of food. I mean, I'm a very easy person when it comes to trying new foods. I'm not too crazy. Like, I mean, there are some things I'm not really gonna want to take part in, but for the most part, I'm pretty flexible about what I try. But when it comes to like as a child, I was very easy to feed, right? I did not, stick my nose up on anything. It was all consumed. And with that said, I always have loved vegetables and fruit. And I can only say that again, roasted veggies are awesome. If you want to get little people to like veggies sooner, roast them. One, again, it will bring out the sweetness, which little people usually like sweet, right? And it will be a little bit easier on their tummies, right? Little people, okay, um, their little bodies have to grow, right? And for the same reason that obviously you don't feed a 6-month-old, full blown solid food, their little bodies can't handle it, right? Their digestive system. Their digestive system is continually maturing, right? So, you know, if you want to get a little person to really open up about what they eat, try roasting some veggies and see what they do. And don't necessarily, again, you don't need to season them with anything. In fact, I would say don't. Little babies, I mean, little people, right, with teeth, um, will find a way, to consume it. But it's another neat way to soften the food. Now, when you steam food, it usually doesn't get soft. It's just vibrant in its color. And again, you release some of the nutrients, but otherwise it's pretty much whole the way it was. When you roast something, it usually gets softer. And again, that becomes more easy to consume. So with that, try the roasted veggies. And whether you put seasoning or not, it doesn't matter. Roast those suckers and then enjoy that sweetness. And in particular, I'm thinking of like, even if you take onions, even your different onions will be sweet after you roast them. And that's crazy cool, right? So, anyway, simple little tip, but one I think that can help people, especially who have any type of, digestive issues, really should partake in the fact that, or should consider using roasted veggies more often because it's a way to consume more veggies safely without your tummy getting upset. So, with that, we'll see you next time. Until then, take care, take charge.